The Nissan Nation podcast is a presentation of DRB and KGB Media.
Recorded live, coast to coast, it's the Nissan Nation podcast. From camping, racing, and all points in between. The NNP is your Nissan Nation podcast. Now start your engines and welcome in the hosts, David and Danny.
What is going on, Nissan Nation? From all things Nissan here in Middle Tennessee to my buddy over there in Southern California, this is the Nissan Nation podcast. And Danny, I know we've had a podcast kind of in between us and Went, but this is really the first, we're back, buddy. We've all both had kind of long vacations from this, and we are back, I think.
Hey, Dave. That's the Army's version of just walking up and saying hi. The Beetle Bailey Army. Sorry. What's up, Dave? Yeah, dude. You know what? I was actually stoked when it was like when we didn't have anybody on tonight, and I'm kind of stoked that it's just me and you. We're gonna rack through a bunch of Nissan news, get through some of the stuff that we've been up to. And just kind of chat about some of the stuff that we got going, or that Nissan's been going. We'll kind of get down to the bare bones. Maybe we'll share some stats. I know I don't like to share stats, but I like to do it every once in a while. That way, guys, keeps you on your toes.
That's right. If Danny wants to talk about numbers, man, there's something wrong. But man, what past couple months we've had. We got into Studio 2.0 here. You've got into your new house, man. Lots of traveling on both of us. I don't know what to say, man. We got to hang out again at Went. It seems like our birthday tradition for you, I guess.
Yearly bro high five. Yeah, no, I mean, and you know what? Since Went, I've had a couple trips, and it's just been wild, man. It's been life sometimes goes in these ebbs of flow of busyness, man. And I mean, for you, I know moving into a new place and getting yourself situated. When I came out to Went there, your house, I stopped by your house once or twice, and it was just like boxes to the ceiling, and you're like, we gotta go, and I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, this guy he's gonna come back from Went and not get a single blink of sleep because he's got to unpack his whole house. So I get how that goes, man.
Yeah, I didn't get any sleep at Went, man. For those who don't know, I bought a house, and somehow my closings kept screwing up, and it was like basically the day before Went, we got to close on this house, and I basically threw all my shit in here and was like, well, there's a bed, gotta go. And me and Kelly had a strange event this year. It wasn't the event's fault. Everything seemed cool there, no complaints. But when you buy your new shiny toy and you're like 250 miles away from it, and you're like, I wonder what's going on there.
Yeah, no, it was still fun. And then with me flying out to Colorado and then road tripping with Chris from Nistec all the way out there in a somewhat borrowed truck coming. I mean, and you know what? I guess we didn't really. I don't know if we touched on this, but I probably touched on this. Pulling the cats or the exhaust off a quarter of the way into the trip. All the 17-hour drive home, and driving home from Went with with open exhaust was a bit of a wild trip.
I don't remember hearing about this, dude.
No. Well, okay, so we left WENTwindrock. And so we were in Justin's truck, which Nistec built. Justin works for Nistec, and because the main Nistec truck was not, it was getting a trans replaced. We hopped in Justin's truck, who works for Nistec, which is it's a great truck. It's built really nice. So long story short, we got out there, and on our way back, we noticed a ton of total loss in power. Check engine light pops on, checking the codes, and come to find out that one of the cats is clogged. And this is probably, I want to say, an hour out of Murfreesboro, which is like an hour away from WENTwindrock, or a couple hours away from WENTwindrock. So we're like, we got to fix this because we can't drive home at 60 was like the max speed. Like if you're going up a hill, it just died, and it was horrible. So we pulled over, and and pulled into a parking lot, got all the tools out. Mind you, like, we've been driving for like an hour. The exhaust is like scalding hot, and we cracked the exhaust open because like I said, we figured out the exhaust was clogged up, causing it to lose all its power. It's got no backflow. So we cracked the exhaust open and drove it back and just to kind of drove back on the freeway to make sure that we had it all right. And sure enough, man, it was a clogged cat, and we had some power again. So we cruised all the way home with 4 million decibels. Yeah,
dude, that's hillbilly style, brother.
You have to get home and you do what you got to do. We got back and we threw some pipes in it. It's good as new now, but it's rain. You know what? Breakdowns are just so random like that. It's like the worst possible times when when something just decides to give. And I mean, that truck's got a lot of miles on it. Justin lived in Alaska for a long time, back and forth from Alaska and Colorado, and he's a world traveler basically. And so that cat was probably on borrowed time. So. Well, of course, it happened while we were driving.
Right. Yeah, always when you borrow a friend's car, Well,
it was a loud drive home. That's all I know.
Well, you had a hell of an adventure, buddy. Because how many days? 15 days?
Yeah, close to that. I think it was like maybe it's 13 days or something like that. But yeah, I mean, and I guess if you listen to the last podcast, you probably heard about me and Joey doing the race. Going to the racetrack after I got back to Colorado, and it was an exhausting trip, like totally exhausting.
I'm only assuming you slept for a little bit after that because when Danny's in full Danny mode, and it's like sell, that's a lot of energy.
Yeah, I came home and my wife was like, "Did you get hit by a truck?" So I definitely had to lay low for a couple days and just chill, but.
And then she goes, "Hey, watch the kids because I'm going to Europe."
Yeah. And then the wife left, and you know what? That was wild too. She left for Europe for 2 weeks. She went out to England, and so it was like back to work, with kids and school and situations, just figuring things out without my life partner. So.
Well, but you troopered through it, man, and Danny's full of adventure. But let's get into Went just a little bit, Danny. I mean, so you guys, as you seen me in panic mode when you showed up. I think y'all met us at the Mexican restaurant. And what was funny was, for listeners that don't know, Chris has a trailer that he bought from a guy that's half of an Xterra, and he's turned it into this just killer. I don't know what you would call it. Just is a Niztec trailer of some sorts. But
it gets all our products to shows, and it's a cool little trailer. It's all wrapped up in the same stuff as Niztec wrap.
What's funny is, so I'm sitting there, me and Kelly, I'm getting texts like crazy. "Hey Dave, man, I know you like these Nissan things, man. Have you seen this one floating around with it's a trailer?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's my buddy Chris and Danny." And I mean, I'm getting texts, and then all of a sudden, what do I see in the parking lot? I see Chris and Danny pulling up at the Mexican restaurant, the authentic Mexican restaurant. And
yeah, buddy.
So we had some drinks, and the party started, I guess, really. And you guys, you had adventures downtown Nashville, and you guys were just doing it.
Yeah, you know what? You gotta when you're out there and you're able to let loose a little bit more. I mean, you might as well get your time in while you're away. Yeah, we cruised out to one of those classic country bars and had some drinks and hung out. It was a good time. And then it was next day it was drive to WENTwindrock.
You met me. I had to rip a bumper off of my truck, and you guys looked.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. We helped you. We helped you pull the bumper off the front of your truck. That's what everybody wants to do first thing in the morning after having a couple drinks in Nashville.
Well, I was kind of in panic mode because I had to get that bumper to WENTwindrock. I'd sold it, and I'm like going. There's nobody at my parents' house where I'm storing this truck. How am I going to get this thing off? And I had my friend Tracy who flew in from Canada, and I'm like, I don't want to ask her to go, "Hey, can you help me lift this damn heavy bumper off the truck?"
Yeah.
So because I thought you guys were still kind of staying in town, man. And so, you guys get there and you just look like you guys have been in a bar fight and just, it wasn't a good night.
No, Dave. We were happy and we were jubilant, and the best thing about waking up is not Folgers in your cup. That's a myth. The best part of waking up is helping lift heavy bumpers off Xterras in the morning.
Right.
For that guy.
Yeah, for me. And but what did you guys leave from there to go to the event? I can't remember. Or y'all had some things to do in town or something? And
you know what? I don't remember for sure. I think we were just gonna head to the event and get set up.
But we all rode to kind of convoyed over there, didn't we?
Yeah, we convoyed down, I think, if I remember right.
Yeah, it's always nice to see, like, you know, my Frontier pulling a trailer and you guys, you know, doing your thing. And people, truckers and stuff, just look at, like, this group of Xteras and Nissans.
But yeah, and you know what was gnarly is on the drive-in. Do you remember on the drive-in, it poured rain so hard, right. People were pulling over. And, like, you know, SoCal here, I haven't seen rain like that since the last time I was out of state. You know, like, it's been a long time since I've seen rain like that. And I was in hog heaven. I loved every second of it. I was driving. I was like, this is awesome.
What is this magic coming from the sky?
He's like, you might want to pull over. You're going to die. I'm like, no way. We're driving through. Can't see a damn thing, you know? Like,
well, then I realized
down the interstate, semis are pulled over. Like, no way, bro.
I realized I had some audio gear sitting in the back of my Frontier. So we pulled over. And Chris opens the hatch of his trailer, right. and he's like, let's just throw this stuff in there. So I'm throwing some stuff in there, and as soon as I put the speaker into the truck, I hear, and he goes, "Oh, be careful, dude!
Yeah.
Those are glass." And so I cracked the side window out of his trailer, which was embarrassing. And hopefully he's gotten that fixed by now. But and so it was like, okay, this is how the weekend. I mean, this is how the week is just going to start out. And so we get there, and pretty much that's the last time I've seen rain here, by the way, Danny. So.
Oh, really? Well, there's that.
Yeah,
does that make it less humid since you haven't seen rain since then, or is it still just balls?
No, it's less humid here, but all the grass and everything's dead.
Hey, welcome to my life.
That's right.
I can't imagine it's nearly as dead as what we got.
There's no green around, buddy.
Does it sound like massive amounts of popcorn when you're walking around?
Yeah, when you're stepping on it, dude, it's like it's like a dead Christmas tree or something. I don't know, man.
Well, the good news is that won't last for you, Dave.
That's right, man. We are actually expecting rain tomorrow, please. My new yard needs it. But so we
there you go.
So we get to Went, man, and Went's always full of adventure, and Danny finally got to see people go up Trail 15, which was really cool.
Yeah, I've skipped that stinking trail so many times.
That's what
because I'm usually on the easy trails. I think I've mentioned that before, but
the gatekeepers.
I always wanted to go. Yeah, I always wanted to go check it out, and that was awesome. And then
another downpour.
Yeah, it just started raining right at the top.
Poor JR was the last truck.
Oh yeah, dude, that was wild. But you know what? It was fun. We just had to pull some winch line. My brand new Converse were soaked to the. So let me just tell you, for those of you out there, I went up. It was sunny when we drove up there, and I had some low top Converse on. I'm like, I'm just gonna be basically standing on the side watching. I don't need my combat boots that I normally wear when I'm out there for traction. Well, when it gets wet and the mud out there was pretty slippery, Converse is a bad idea. Those things, like, I was like just slipping and sliding everywhere up there.
Well, you could hear the rain coming through them trees too, man. You could hear it for like 3 minutes or so before it was creeping through there. You just hear this rush of rain, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, you watch that wall come in, man.
And it was like literally we had one truck left, and it's in the gnarliest part of this trail, man. It's like a double ledge. That's what I would say. The ledges are at least.
Well, yeah, the second ledge is all muddy. So the first ledge is rock, which isn't nearly as much of a problem in the rain. But well, I mean, it's not as bad. But the second ledge was all it's rock with mud all over top of it and in front of it and on the sides of it. So it just makes for like a bad situation.
But I think each ledge is at least a 5-foot lift easily. And then
probably.
Then you got maybe 5 foot of flat, and then back up 5 foot. But anyway, so yeah, in the rain, luckily JR had a winch. I think everybody probably did have a winch on that run. But yeah, we got out of it, and it was like, all right, this is how it's going to go, man. And people really, they like watching that, man, because it's. I would say that's honestly worse than the Rock Challenge, really, because the Rock Challenge, there's ways to get out of it, but once you're on that trail,
yeah, it's more technical than the Rock Challenge. The Rock Challenge is kind of just get especially for the big dudes, but that trail is a little bit more technical. You got to take some good lines in order to get up it right, so you got to watch real close. If you don't take the right line on that, you're not getting up it. That's the whole thing of that trail.
Right. And but it was a good time, man. And it set the stage for the week to come. And we did the meet and greet and all that. Everybody starts showing up. And just one after another, these badass rigs showing up. And for my friend Tracy in Canada, man, who's like so far in Canada, she's in Saskatchewan or whatever. Around Regina, I don't know. She said it's something about rhyming with vagina is all I know.
Yep.
And like she maybe sees one Xterra, every couple of weeks. For her, this was just like, oh my God, look at all these cool ass toys that are showing up.
Yeah, for sure.
And it led up to some interesting things, and I think we're going to do a special podcast on one of the nights, man. We had Nissan show up, which was super cool. They brought that Cummins. What do you call it?
It was a chase truck, yeah.
Jesus,
that thing's
dude.
Really nice truck. I love that truck.
I know, and you've got the Wounded Warrior Project truck over there, and it's like, well, that's a badass truck in itself, but when you see the new Titan all built up like that, you're like, well, forget that thing, man.
Yeah, I was bummed because I wanted to see the Wounded Warrior Titan, and I didn't get back in time to see that thing because I was still on that trail, trail 38, was it?
No, 39. I think
39, Trail 39, yeah.
They call it Cadillac Hill is what I think they call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's nothing Cadillac about that, man. And
I think it's Cadillac because it's so long. That's what I've come to understand. If you hear something that's called Cadillac Hill or Cadillac Trail or something like that, it's not because it's comfy and old school. It's because it's long and long.
Well, we're going to do that day was so screwed up. We're just going to bypass it because we're going to do a show just on that one particular day.
Yeah, it was a good day.
We ended up, you do the Rock Challenge, which was badass. The Overly Brothers dominated that once again.
Again.
Danny
nobody's showing up to try and take that crown, man. Those guys got a lock on it, dude.
Dude, it's because they're so smooth when they drive. Well, and of course, you got to see the Rock Bouncer this year, and he actually made it up there. James.
Yeah, James.
And but which is cool, and he came close to beating his brother's time, and he's on 35s, and I think his brother's 37s.
Yeah.
But we had a couple good runs up there, but it was a day later than it should have been, and it wasn't due to weather. Once again, like I said, we'll get to that in a new episode coming down the line. But then it was like sad time. All my friends are leaving. I've got a house to actually go unpack.
Yeah, you gotta go unpack. It's like,
and I think what is it? Memorial Day was the holiday there, so it's like I did get like a day to kind of put the house together, but then life kicks you in the balls again, and here we are, Danny. So, but
getting after it.
Let's get to some of your adventures, man. You had 2 big runs since Went, right?
I had 1 big run, and then I went out to SEMA as well.
Oh, I thought you did 2. You've done 2 runs? I thought you did 2 things out in the desert. Did you do an American?
You're right. I'm sorry. My bad. I did 2. I went with
American.
I think I touched on it last podcast. Overlanding USA. They actually just dropped the episode where I have a short speaking part in the background while he narrates.
Nice.
And that's about all you'll see of me, just for the heads up, for what it's worth. It's like a 7-minute video that they just kind of recapped our trip in a short little thing.
They were looking for audience participation, so they said if we put the big deal in the background, he's gonna bring them numbers up.
Exactly.
But you just recently came back from Death Valley?
Yeah. That's my yearly trip that I take my daughter on. This year I took both my daughters on, and this year I led 9 trucks through Death Valley. It's a 250-mile trip. Awesome trip. So much fun. So much stuff to see. And we had a great trip. It was a lot of fun doing that.
I remember you talked about that last year a little bit, and last year they had flooding or something. So
yeah. It's every year everything changes so much out there depending on how much rain and stuff we get. So This year was super chill. The weather was amazing. It was like 80 during the day, maybe like 50 at night for most of the nights. We hit the major spots. We hit the Saline Valley Hot Springs. We hit Eureka Dunes. We hit Home State Camp, which is right next to what's called the racetrack. And that, if for anybody that's interested in the Death Valley racetrack, it's a super, super cool area where these rocks move across what's called the playa, which is this almost like concrete, hard mud surface. But it's actually been in the news lately because someone drove on it, which pisses me off because it's this beautiful area. And then there's like some turd face drove all over it and nerfed it all up, which is, it's going to make it last, like those tire tracks are going to last for like years, and it's pissed me off. But
did they hashtag themselves out there while they were doing it?
I heard that the Rangers looked up satellite imagery and caught them, but that's like a
wow.
Yeah, but I don't know for sure. That was kind of like a secondhand rumor mill thing, so who knows? But pissed me off. But there's still, I mean, it's a massive dried up lake bed basically, and it's super fun, you know. And every year I take my daughters, and it's kind of like their trip to shine. Like it's their exposure to like a real overland trip. You know, every day we're cooking up wild, you know, Korean barbecue ribs, and you know,
wait, you're killing Koreans and barbecuing them?
North Korean barbecue ribs.
What is
a delicacy?
What is this, The Walking Dead all of a sudden, man?
Yeah, right.
Hey kids,
Korean short ribs, man. You ever hear Korean short ribs?
Dude, now you're making short jokes on these poor Koreans, man.
Oh boy.
Thank God Nissan is Japanese. Jeez.
We made Korean short ribs one night, fettuccine Alfredo another night. I mean, we eat pretty solid out there.
Nice, man.
Killing it. So, and then Chris Haynes USA, who doesn't listen to this show but should, 'cause he's a big deal, but nobody knows him.
Oh, people know him.
Well, some people do, but some people don't.
So Chris was out there too?
Chris was out there too. He organizes a trip. I lead it. So
nice.
We had one truck going to a somewhat fail-safe mode. He had a little bit of engine problem, so he limped out the North Pass, which is luckily where we were at. We weren't too far out, but he limped out one place. Other than that, it was a great trip. I had some new guys that I'd never met before. A couple guys I'd taken on the trail quite a few times before as well.
Was old JT out there, man?
Who?
John Tyler. Was he out there with you?
No. He didn't make it this year.
Damn.
He rides bikes nonstop these days.
Yeah,
that's his thing.
Well, you know, we all liked it. When we get older, we got to do the lesser of two evils, and
it's turned into a little bit of a NorCal crew. A lot of the NorCal guys drive down from up in the San Francisco area and stuff.
Well, you know, in something we touched on the Win episode, man. There's been badasses adventuring everywhere, man. Our buddy Chema and Jen Bachman and everybody did the Rubicon.
Yeah, they did a great trail out there in the Rubicon.
Jesus, I mean, and it's like I said, it went, man. You do Went, you might step it up to Moab, but the end game it's the Rubicon, man. And I don't know if anything really after that what you would do.
Yeah, if you're looking for super gnarly wheeling, Rubicon's the way to go. I waffle on the Rubicon just because my trucks, I don't know if I want to spend the money to make it through the Rubicon. that's a locker and gears, and a locker and gears is about $3,000. And I have so many other places that I want to see right now. I'd rather spend that $3,000 to go see all those other places. Maybe in the future.
Well, your truck is an ultimate adventure rig. You know, it's a taste of everything.
It is, but right now, that $3,000 will go a long way on the race truck. So right now, the red truck is pretty set up. It's ready to go where I need it to go, and taking the family out is the most important thing. And in truth, in a very rare, serious moment here on the Nissan Nation podcast from the group, I brought my daughters out to Death Valley, and this is the third time I brought my oldest, and the first time I brought my youngest, 7 and 9. And nothing can compare to the experience of bringing my two daughters out and sharing the world, camping, life, other people. And I encourage every single person, if you have kids, or if you have a significant other, bring them out with you. Let them see what you do. Let them experience whether you're going to the racetrack with your 240Z or your GTR, your drag racing.
Yeah.
Let them hear the cars rumbling. Like there's not just experience life with them, because I can't implore people enough to go experience life with the people you love, because I had so much freaking fun. They're like a riot, dude. My kids are cracking me up, dude. They're so cool.
Well, sad as it may be, one day they may not get to hear the revving of a gas powered engine. The way.
No kidding. They'll hear the spark and shoot of the electric Zoom bot.
Yeah, definitely, man. And well, let's get big news, Danny. And I didn't prep you for this one. Guess what launched today?
Hold on, Dave. I want to guess. Can I do a couple guesses? I want 3 or 4. Can I get 4 guesses?
I'm going to give you 3. You get 3, man. So what in the car world would be a big deal today?
Okay, they have an automatic baby birthing machine in the back of the Nissan Rogue.
Wait, no, hold on. We'll say 3 days ago, because this show's going to hit Monday. So what would have happened 3 days ago that would be a big deal?
Wait, can I go back to the...
Yeah, go right back,
Is automatic birthing mode in... Oh, no. How about this? Automatic birthing mode in the back of the new Armada is guess 1. Okay?
Okay.
The new Nissan Juke boat. They're going to come out with a Nissan Juke boat. That's my next guess.
Is that kind of like is a Juke boat one of those things like Kennedy used to drive around in World War II?
Wait, Kennedy drove around in World War II?
Yeah, what was those little pea boats or whatever?
Hey, it's
anyways.
I guess I didn't watch that special on National Nat Geo. And the last guess is the Hummer machine finally was announced on the Nissan Titan XD. And I'm about to buy it. No,
no, dude. Grand Tour launched.
Oh, seriously, dude. I was pissed that we had to podcast because,
dude, what do you think I was watching?
Like, I want to watch it so freaking bad, Dave.
All right, so as a guy who just got done watching it, and a guy that hasn't
watched it before. I freaking hate you and your freaking time schedule. I'm not lying, Dave. I'm so pissed that you watched 30 and I haven't even seen it. I wanted to watch it before the podcast. I'm sitting there making dinner. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to get to watch it, so I can't comment on it tonight.
Danny, you set this.
Hate you right
you
now,
set
dude.
This date up, buddy.
Oh, I freaking hate you. I was on Facebook and I was like, oh, and then I look at my phone and it's a date and I'm like, Grand Tour, it's on, it's ready to go. And my wife loves it too, so I'm like, I can just watch it with my wife. But no, we got to eat dinner. I got to feed the kids. Oh, I hate that you watched it and that I wasn't able to watch it.
What's funny is I'm watching Danny on video here, and this is total not bullshit. I can see
God, I'm so
he's
pissed.
so mad, man. All right, so Grand Tour hit today, Dan. And for those that don't know, Jeremy Clarkson, I don't remember the other two.
Richard Hammond.
Yeah, and the little midget, I forget his name.
No, that's Richard Hammond.
Oh, okay. And
Jeremy Clarkson, Richard Hammond, and the guy who likes planes.
The guy that's really slow. Anyways, man.
Captain Slow.
Yeah, Captain Slow. They used to be on a show called what, Danny?
Top Gear. They basically the best show ever to grace the TV screen for any motorhead ever. I don't care what show you watched that was like, this is a really good show. Suck it. This is the best Motorhead show ever. I don't care if it's Britain and it's not American. Maybe the Americans should stop sucking so bad when it comes to motor TV shows.
Yeah, and quit copying
the best
these.
Show.
Top Gear was one of the best shows, man. And of course, they had the Stig and all that stuff. And of course, the big thing was Clarkson. I guess he punched a producer or something and basically got fired from that show.
James May.
James May, yeah.
I was blanking. James May is
it's the holy trinity, basically, of cars.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, Amazon had said, hey, man, here's $20-30 million. Go make a TV show, dude. And Danny, it's so badass, man. I
saw the trailer and basically in my view, it's if they were to make a bad show, the universe would flip over. When the chemistry between those three guys. I mean, this is like the Grand Tour commercial right now. The chemistry between those three guys, and you throw like a basic producer at them just in order to get a show out. Those guys could make anything hilarious, fun, and entertaining. I mean, it's there's nothing like it, dude.
Man, I can't even explain it. It just was freaking awesome, dude. The way they film things is just wicked.
Is it even better? Tell me this: is it better than Top Gear?
Yes.
Oh,
there's a couple.
I'm so happy right now. I'm so happy right now. I knew it would be, but I just I wanted to know for sure.
Is your door broken?
No, I'm broken. Can you hold the door for me?
Have you seriously broken your arm?
Well, it's fractured.
Which arm have you broken?
Is there an event on? Is it always this busy?
Wow, Roger Moore isn't here.
Looking good is more important than looking where you're going.
When are you going to do that, Dave?
Amen.
Yes, sir.
So expensive.
Let me turn this down a little bit now.
That's the trailer right there.
Yeah.
I've watched that trailer 6 times. No joke, I've watched it 6 times now.
Dude, I'm totally with you. And I was like, I was late to the. Here, let me crank this down. I was late to the whole Top Gear thing. Of course, their version of Top Gear was, maybe I think 7 to 8 years old. But the guys have such chemistry,
Yeah,
and
what is there? 18 seasons or 13 seasons of it now? I think.
No, dude, of Top Gear. Top Gear, it was like 25 seasons. It's been going since the 80s.
Maybe it was more, but I want to say it was 18 seasons. I watched them. I got into Top Gear maybe 6 years ago and watched them, and then I watched them twice now from beginning to end on Netflix, and every time I just giggle, and there's your Top Gear / Grand Tour commercial for you.
That's right, dude. And of course, no Nissans in this first episode, man, but that's okay. They'll get there.
They have a run at them on and off.
Yeah. What's cool about those? They don't really. They all have like their personal favorite cars, and they'll talk a little bit about them. But they just like cars, and they'll just do everything with cars. But the real beauty of the show is the chemistry of how these guys kind of get along, and it's just like 3 car guys that are just BSing all the time and know each other for years.
That, and I think my take on it is all 3 of them get it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They're all 3 of them truly get it when it comes to the essence of what a car is, and there's a difference between a car and then something where you feel like freedom in this car. Like they get the whole like mechanical aspect of how a car makes you feel, when you get it, and there's a part of a car that's a tool, and there's a part of a car that makes you just like, it allows you to step into a world of freedom that you never would have been able to. And I think that's the best part about it.
Well, I'm not going to give anything away, man, because I definitely don't want to spoil it for you or our audience. But the first 3 cars are Porsche, Ferrari, and McLaren. So I'll just leave it
in true top. You know what? In true Top Gear fashion, those are like the 3 cars that I already know. Well, I already know who would want which.
Okay. Oh, well, tell me who would want which.
Okay, the McLaren is Jeremy. Wait. It's Ferrari.
Porsche, and Porsche. McLaren.
The Porsche would go to Captain Slow. And the Ferrari. No.
Oh, Danny's really
Hammond would go for the Porsche, and the Ferrari would go for Captain Slow.
No. Oh yes. Well, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm saying that's who would pick those 3.
Right, and then you had it right the first time with the McLaren, man. And but the way
Jeremy is all about a vehicle that has soul, dude, and the McLaren has got so much soul, dude. One day I'm gonna drive one, Dave, on my bucket list.
Hey,
I'm gonna drive a McLaren as long as stupid people in LA stop crashing them.
That's right, dude, and that'll be a McLaren Nation podcast, and we'll get right on that.
Guaranteed.
For the elite of the elite of the elite.
Anyhow.
But anyways, the way they film this is different too than anything else. I mean, Top Gear was always filmed a little different and very movie-like, but now, dude, it's like they have a budget to spend money, and they're not like just being cheesy with it. Like they really...
They're making it wicked.
Yeah, and Kelly, who had never seen Top Gear before, sat here tonight, and dude, she fell in love with it, like just instantly.
Kelly never watched Top Gear?
No, she's always busy.
Well, after she watches all these, she's going to be like, let's go watch some Top Gear.
No, she can't wait for next week, dude, because it's every week they come out, man, which I love.
Heck yeah.
I love that, like, Netflix will you can binge on something when it first comes out.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But the true essence of a good TV show is to make me wait for you to come out.
Yeah.
You know? And
it's just like sex.
Yeah. And then 15 seconds.
You gotta wait for it sometimes,
done.
but when you do wait for it, it makes it just a little bit better. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, yeah, Danny. By the way, let's get to our first big topic, man. We've had some people. Nissan's got their thing in LA this week, which bums me out because when I flew out there last year, it was right when we literally drove by the arena they were having the car show, the LA Auto Show. And and I remember you going, yeah, that's where it's at. And I'm like, I want to go. But that was like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
But they seems like that's the place if they're going to drop Sentra news, because last year I think is when they brought out the new Sentra there.
Yeah, the LA Auto Show is pretty big for dropping some new stuff. I mean, I don't know if it's quite as big as Chicago. Is it just Chicago?
Detroit's the huge one.
Detroit. That's what I was thinking. The Detroit Auto Show is one of the biggest ones that you see that stuff. But yeah, the LA Auto Show, you definitely see some new stuff popping out over there.
Of course, you know, Nissan's got this promotion right now with the Rogue, man, with the Rogue One coming out, Star Wars Rogue One, which I'm super, super excited to see, because this will be the first time my daughter, who loves Star Wars, it'll be our first Star Wars movie where we get to go see it together, so that's going to be special.
Nice.
And, but, you know, and that's cool, the whole Rogue One, it goes hand in hand, but they dropped the Nismo Sentra on us, Danny. You want to talk to us about that a little bit?
You know what? I went on the Nissan site and signed up for the secret little Nissan Rogue Edition sign up for recent news or whatever for whatever it is. But so basically, this is the first time Star Wars, I guess the Star Wars franchise, has teamed up with a car, and so they have the new limited edition Star Wars Nissan Rogue Edition coming out. They're only selling 5,000 of these. They're available in like 4 colors. They have a bunch of cool features. Mostly this is just like a trim model, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
And so they have cool stuff like LED headlights and special graphics in the like stitched into the
when you
floor mats and stuff like that.
When you honk the horn, does it go?
Possible, Dave.
Or
how about probable?
But get to the good stuff, man. That's just a Rogue. Blah. They sell a shit ton of that. It's a beautiful car. But we want some speed, Danny. Anything you know about the Nismo Sentra?
Sentra, man. We got the new Sentra Nismo. Now, I have 2 sides to the Nismo Sentra. One is a gripe. One is that's sweet. Okay, so we'll start out with the gripe. The new Nismo Sentra is basically the Sentra SR with a really cool body kit and I guess like it's like a package, right? So the SR comes with a little 1.6 liter digiturbo or whatever you want to call it. It's got 188 horsepower, 177 foot-pounds of torque. The Nismo comes with the same motor and the same horsepower. It comes with 18-inch wheels. It comes with 11.5-inch brakes, basically front and rear. The same electric power steering, where at low speed it's different. It's a different ratio from low speed to high speed, which is cool. I really, really wanted the Sentra. If they were going to badge it as a Sentra Nismo, they could have taken that same motor, which is basically the Juke RS motor, and they could have bumped it up like the Juke RS to 215, 210 horsepower. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So awesome. I mean, the package, the package, the Nismo package is cool. It's got carbon fiber stuff inside, and it's lowered a little bit. I think it's lowered like half an inch. Yeah. With the 18-inch wheels. It's got really cool like side bolster seats, so it keeps you locked in if you're going to take it around a track or something. So it's really cool. But you know what? If you're gonna make it a Nismo, make it a. I don't know if they're leaving themselves some wiggle room for a Nismo RS or something. Mm-hmm. But I really think that they didn't quite hit it out of the park like they should have with the Nismo package.
Well, I mean, the cool thing that you can get with this is actual 6-speed, and it's pretty much the same thing as the Juke had, where you can get it actually with a manual transmission, which that in itself is rare. And I think they're doing it with the SR too, but it's rare that you can actually get a clutch in one of these things anymore. Yeah.
And it's a cool car. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's the suspension that's it's a stiffer suspension. It's a good little performance car that would be $25,000 fun to drive. And then, it's got a body kit supposedly produces like 30% less or I guess reduction in lift on the car, so it probably hugs the corner a little bit better in a higher speed turns and stuff like that. So, I'm sure it would be a super fun car to drive on a track or just cruising around. It'd probably be a great car, but I want just a little bit more. Like I want the, the Sentra SR of old kind of a thing, of back in the day when they did freaking bump it up and went a little bit extreme. I just feel like they're holding back a little bit. I don't know why.
Well, it does look racy. You got to give it that, man. The Nismo package with all the red trim.
It looks amazing. I love the Nismo package.
And like you said, the interior is a little different and stuff. But it's a $25,000 car, which is that sounds like a lot to maybe a kid wanting this car, but it is fairly entry level for something sporty, and of course it will be tuned and screw putting a CVT in a car like this, man. I'm going manual transmission if I'm driving this.
Yeah, car. I saw that. They're like, it's going to be offered in this manual transmission or the friggin' Schlimmy Boppy, whatever they call it, the friggin' Jimble Bum 7000. I'm like, no.
But the thing, if they're going to do a true Nismo, man, the Civic just come out with their, I forget what Honda calls their sporty Civic. And dude, it looks like a rocket ship.
Oh, and the new Civic, I saw it at SEMA. It's like the Civic SR or Civic SER. I don't remember what it was, but it's a freaking rocket ship, dude.
Right, and that's what they're competing with. And to me, even though I do love this car and for the price, it's very affordable. I'm already out for the Civic right now.
Niztec Lifts. At Niztec Lifts, we really know the Nissan truck lift kits. We are the experts for your Nissan lift kit parts, shocks, and accessories, and more. Got questions or want to talk with the staff of experts? Give us a call and we will help make your Nissan truck or Xterra look awesome. Check us out at www.nizteclifts.com and tell them the Nissan Nation podcast sent you.
But to me, the crowd they definitely are playing in is that Honda crowd, man, because Toyota doesn't really make any. Their Corolla, it looks, I don't know about Toyota anymore, but they for the price point of this car, man, I guess a normal Sentra is probably starting out about 18. I guess that's okay. But if I'm gonna spend that kind of money, I'm gonna wait a few years and get me a G37 or something like that and spend that money there.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I can't wait for a new 370 or whatever they're going to come, where whether it's a 450 or whatever they pop out with. I can't wait to see a new one there. It's just so ready for a new a new platform. And
well, they may be calling it like a 280 or something for the next one, because the number is always based on the engine size, and
yeah,
the way they're doing with they're like in turbos all of a sudden, and what the Q50, I think.
That new twin turbo motor that they put in was it a Q4? No, not the Q4. Q50? Mm-hmm. No.
Yeah, Q50 you can get in a different, and they've got their new Q60, which is, I don't even remember what they call the G35 anymore, that version. But yeah, it comes with like a twin turbo, man. It's pretty wicked, and it's a 4-cylinder. So
yeah, I think everybody has kind of settled on the fact that because Nissan uses everything across their line basically, that's going to be the new G.
Yeah, well, I mean, in getting to the 370Z stuff, they rumors keep going out that it could be a crossover, man. And I know we've debated that in the past, and I would never do that to that poor car, but if they love crossovers,
I think Nissan would be high if they did that. Absolutely, mind-blowingly high. I guess you've heard my take on it before, but if they made the Z line into some kind of crossover, there would be riots in the streets like Donald Trump couldn't even fathom.
Yeah, no kidding, man. It'd be Clinton supporters in the streets.
Yeah, it'd be the Nissan Z owners in the streets pushing the Clinton and Trump haters out of the way and stomping them to death is what would happen.
No, maybe they'll just get out there and do donuts in those crowds, and that's how.
Yeah, they would be driving through crowds faster than any Mustang.
Those Mustangs get thirsty.
And that was a plug on current events, folks. That's about as close as we're getting to the election news. Yeah. So if you were looking for election news later, that's as close as it's going to get.
And that's been our election coverage of 2016.
Yeah, right.
Now back to you, Dan. Let's get to the most popular segment we do, man, and it's sales numbers, Danny.
Nissan news. Oh yeah!
I know you're a huge fan of it, and our boy Aaron out there in Washington, he loves sending them to us.
At least 10 of our listeners that are a big fan of sales.
But as if you keep up with it, sales for every manufacturer right now are down. I think some of it is just the political time of the year, and it kind of scares people. They don't want to spend money until they figure out which of our idiots we get to choose from is going to be in office. And the people have spoken, and the numbers are down. So I look for it to rebound in November. The November,
Yeah, you might see it rebound to a certain extent, but I'm sure November and December aren't big sales years per se, as far as numbers are concerned. I mean, they're not going to be I don't think there'll be a huge change from last year, but as far as sales numbers, I think they're lower in the holiday season.
Yeah, and let's get to the little truck that could, man. The Nissan Frontier, Danny. It's got our heart.
Yeah, bro. I don't care what's happening in the world. This guy's kicking ass and taking names. The old Frontier, man. We're up 45% over calendar year last year on a 12-year-old car. What is it? I don't even remember how old it is. It's like 106 years old, I believe.
Let's put it this way. In 2015, year to date, they sold 52,025 of that little truck, which is pretty respectable in truck numbers. So this year, they're at 75,752 of these things, man. I think it's because it's the most affordable little pickup truck out there, and it's still, for its class, it still has plenty of power. Lots of space.
It's a great truck, dude, and I think purely on what bang for the buck, dude. You know, I mean, it
still looks stylish, dude.
Yeah, it's still stylish. The Chevy and the Toyota are very expensive, and you could go out and get a Frontier that's just basically bulletproof. And great truck for way less money.
A Pro 4X, a four-wheel drive Pro 4X is going to run you about $36,000 retail on that truck. I think
I'd say 30. I'd say 34 now.
No, the retail is up to 36 now. But
really?
What you could pay for, about 34. So to get into a Chevy or a Toyota, man, you're instantly about 38 to 40. I mean, that's the price difference right there, and that's why people.
Yeah, it's at least $6 or $7 grand higher.
Yeah, and this technology's been out for 11 years now, so just keep cranking it, and we'll keep buying it. But for the month, let's see, they sold 6,364 of those things versus last year at 4,764. So quite a big jump, man.
Yeah.
I think actually my company's about to buy me a new one, so can't wait for that.
And in truth, I was looking at Toyota numbers, and their motor does place. Their new motor is a little bit more powerful, but I mean their base MSRP on a Tacoma is 25 G's.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's pretty wild. And if you were to get the a TRD Pro or something, it's starting at 40,000. That's like the base TRD Pro, and then if you add anything to the base TRD Pro, you're looking at 45.
Well,
they're not a cheap vehicle.
And let's see, the sales battle between Altima and Rogue. It looks like Rogue's won again this month, man. 21,179 versus 20,257. I think both, they just refreshed the Altima a little bit, but both in about a year and a half will probably be coming up for new cycles on those things, man. I know you were talking that you've been researching the Rogue and really like that thing a lot.
Yeah. It's growing on me. I've never really been a fan of that. I call that a crossover. In my mind, it's a little bit of it's not really an SUV when it's it's a basically not a body on frame type of vehicle.
Right.
It's a super light duty type of vehicle. But the good news is with a vehicle like that, it's a way less weight. It usually rides a lot better. It's a little bit more smooth. Great gas mileage and stuff. So the styling has been growing on me, I will say. And so I was like I said just now, I was looking at the Rogue Edition, the Star Wars Rogue Edition. They got great little trims on them, and I don't know. I keep waffling all over the place with what my wife is going to buy next, because. Well, I keep pushing her in the Nissan world. What's available for her, because she has a little Kia or whatever that she bought a while ago, and it's going to be time next year to trade in or trade out or whatever of it. So the Rogue's on the list. May end up getting a earlier model Pathfinder, which I really like those, but the Rogues are great, man. It's a great looking car. They get great gas mileage. It's got tons of cool options. So,
well, the numbers I see stand out to me right now is Titan and Armada. Titan, as we've talked in the past, just bumped their warranty up on that thing, and the sales are starting to show it. They were like 1,200, 1,300 before they did their warranty, man.
Mm-hmm.
This bump up, and last month they sold 3,181 of the Titan. And the new Armada, which is basically the Patrol, it's up to 1,740. And that was versus last year. The Armada was sold like 900. So I mean, that's a big increase. And I think it's for Armada. It's definitely the restyling of the Patrol.
And I was actually at the Nissan dealership today, and I saw one, and it was. I think it was either like a silverish blue, like a deep dark silver blue, or maybe it was a gunmetal gray. I was kind of just driving by, but it had black wheels on it, and oh my gosh, it was a beautiful truck. And ideally, that's what I want my wife to get, but I don't know if she wants something that big, but man, it's a beautiful truck. I mean, it's such a great platform. That new motor is a beast.
What's cool that I'm kind of hearing with the Armada now is, since it basically is the Patrol overseas, There's some things they didn't do with it, like a locking diff and stuff. But
yeah,
I'm hearing that may all be transferable, so you could actually make that a pretty nice overlanding vehicle.
Well, and the cool thing is, and we may touch on this later, but so we went to SEMA and I talked to a bunch of different manufacturers, and because it's basically the same vehicle as the Patrol, over the ocean, there's already a bunch of aftermarket parts for it. And while I don't want to shoot myself in the foot, I think there's going to be really good aftermarket support for doing maybe minor lifts, major lifts, just a lot of cool stuff that has been done overseas that you'll be able to do over here. It'll be very soon when we know whether or not all that stuff transfers straight over to the Armada from overseas. So I'm pretty pumped at the possibility of those things being really cool. Have a lot of aftermarket support for something that you wouldn't normally see have that kind of support.
Right. Well, I was talking. I got to meet up, and I've talked about him on the show before. Moto Man TV is a show I like to watch on YouTube. Man, the guy does really cool. Really cool breakdown on cars and stuff, and he's got a great personality. And I got to hang with him a little bit when he was in Nashville, and we started talking about Titan. And of course, he's not much of a truck guy; he's more of a car guy. But he said out your way, man, because he's out SoCal. He said, man, he's starting to see Titans everywhere. I don't know. Have you started to see him poking around?
Yeah, no, I've started seeing him poking around, and I'm on a couple of Titan Facebook groups, and literally in the last month, I've seen so many guys popping up saying, "Hey, I bought a new Titan. Hey, I bought a new Titan. Hey, check out these wheels. I bought a new Titan. I'm putting on these new wheels," et cetera, et cetera. And I think they're starting to get a little bit of that market penetration, kind of like that buzz about them, where people are like, "Oh yeah, check it out." Like it's starting to get that groundswell where they're starting to show up everywhere, and people are realizing that throw a set of big tires on this thing and look, totally bitching.
And Nissan finally putting some money behind this marketing wise, and they're notorious for having commercials that show every car they make. It's going to show Rogue and Altima, but man, during football, that's all I'm seeing is Titan commercials, man, and it's showing it. And what I like about them is it's not their normal cheesy style commercials. It's more of a Ford or Dodge or GMC type of commercial,
like a beefcake kind of commercial.
Yeah, it's like saying, "Hey, this is an American truck, man. It's going to haul with the best of them." And I know we've been rough on that poor truck in the past a little bit, and I still will not like a long bet on that, no matter what. But,
no, I hear you on that, and I totally love them. Especially now that I saw a couple at SEMA, just done up a little bit. There's the Hellwig truck, which is maybe some of you have seen it, with the big old camper on it. It's black and yellowish, but seeing that thing in person, what a great looking truck. I mean, that I would love to just get that truck and take it out and camp for a year in that thing. I mean, I walked up in it, and it's
they let you get in it.
Oh yeah, it was wide open, and dude, it's just. It's a beautiful truck. I love the color scheme. The color scheme's part of the reason why I love it so much. It's just, it really is beautiful. I mean, it's. I don't know if it was like, it's like charcoal gray, with like some silver and then yellow accents on the camper and on the truck, and oh man, it's great looking.
I have to be honest, man. I called my buddy Luke when I seen it. There was at the local Chevrolet dealership, there was a used 2016 Titan sitting there, dude, Pro 4X. And I was looking at it going, don't stop, because it's used. You've knocked off a couple $1,000s, man. Because it's come quite obvious that I'm going to need a tow rig at some point for my Xterra. I mean, it's going to be street worthy, but for what I want to do with that vehicle, I don't want to have to worry about driving it home. And so I don't know that the whole Frontier is going to cut it, man. So the whole Frontier may be cutting it one of these days and stepping up to the full size. I really love it, but that's a good segue, Danny. How was SEMA this year, man?
SEMA was fun. I got mixed feelings about it because I haven't been for 2 years. I want to say, and maybe it was 1 year I hadn't been in. But some things were better, some things were worse. I couldn't quite put my finger on it. It's always a blast to go out there and see all the awesome cars and trucks. I will say that I was a little disappointed because there were so many brodozers. And when I say brodozers, I mean like a Ford or Chevy 250 long bed diesel with like
20 inches of lift.
Basically 20 inches of lift on like 28-inch wheels, you know. And
Right.
It's just like I took a picture of one and posted on Facebook, but basically the front drive shaft, the U-joint was at such an angle where it was grinding on the front drive shaft. It's ridiculous.
It's
whatever. If that's your thing, cool. Like everybody should have a thing, and I get that that's what you're into. I personally despise it and think it's a total waste of a truck.
Yeah, because you're taking something four-wheel. It's like a car guy who knows how to tune a car and get that polished up and all pretty. Goes, oh man, diesels can make a lot of power fairly cheap. I'm going to get into that game and I'm going to jack it up and we're going to look cool. And it just looks like garbage, dude. I was on a construction site today, Danny, with one of these brodozers, as you like to call them. Hashtag brodozer, by the way, because I really like that. And dude, it's like it had the LED or the not LED headlights, but HIDs and all this.
Yeah.
The lenses were covered off of it. They were all painted white, and it was white and black. And I was just like, why is this on a construction site, man? This is horrible.
It's just, yeah, you know, I don't know, just.
And I agree with you. If it's your thing, it's your thing. I don't mean to dog people that like that.
It's like a blatant. It basically your truck is like those trucks to me remind me of who's that dude that always wears a giant clock on his chest?
Oh, Flavor Flav.
Flavor Flav. That truck is like the Flavor Flav version of a dude. It's like your truck is a Flavor Flav truck, dude.
Right.
I don't know.
Well,
So,
we look at four-wheel drives, especially in the practical sense of, hey, I want to use that four-wheel drive and make it do something
yeah,
cool.
but
you know?
I'm okay with somebody that lifts their truck up super high and doesn't want to wheel it.
Mm-hmm.
And like whatever, they look cool, so I get it. You know, like lift it up, make it look cool, whatever. But these are like 3 steps beyond that, where you lift it up so high that it's basically not a four-wheel drive anymore.
Right.
And then you put wheels on it that make it like basically undrivable. And then you chrome plate the suspension and the shocks. And I'm thinking to myself, like, that money could be spent to make it like somewhat drivable, so you could take your truck that you spent so much money on and actually drive it and enjoy it. But you have to trailer it to a show to hook up a drive shaft that like doesn't even work to pretend like it's four-wheel drive. Maybe it's beyond me. I don't know. I just don't quite get it, dude. I don't know.
And you know, back to your point of like SEMA was kind of weird for you this year. There was nothing posted about it socially that I could really get behind. And I'm, you know, like you, I'm on a lot of Facebook pages for cars.
Yeah.
And there was no real excitement by it this year.
Yeah, you know what, for NISTEC, we made some great connections. We had fun talking to some of our vendors that we talk to and deal with. It was cool to meet some people that Chris from NISTEC knew and stuff like that. But at the same time, I was a little disappointed because Nissan wasn't there. Mm-hmm. Ford, Chevy, Honda, Hyundai. A lot of the big manufacturers they go all out there and they show off some really, really cool stuff, especially in their somewhat it's an aftermarket show, so they show off all their aftermarket stuff. Ford goes huge. They have Ford Mustangs and Raptors doing like drift competitions in the parking lot, and their booth is basically like it's basically like a football field of just the most wild stuff. Like they have the Gymkhana cars, and they have the Gymkhana, Ken Block's, what is it? Focus, the Rally Focus, They have like 15 Raptors there. They have old school Ford Mustangs that are, old race cars from back in the day. They have brand new cars that are all these brand new Mustangs that are on, like chassis to show you underneath that, a car's flipped up on a side. So you can see all these different stuff that they make. So they go huge. And I get it that, Chevy goes huge. They showed all kinds of really cool stuff. Jeep was there with all their stuff. And Nissan was nowhere to be found.
Well, maybe
which is a little depressing.
Maybe they figured they did the whole 1 truck or 2 trucks last year. That ate their budget up for 10 years.
I guess, dude. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, maybe because they only have 1 truck to show off that's new, they didn't want to come out.
But this is the year of the truck, Danny. And I mean, they trying to call the Pathfinder a truck in some of these commercials.
Yeah, it's frustrating. Bring a GTR out, bring a Titan out. I mean, the GTR is old, but still, like bring out their latest Nismo version and
the latest $150,000 Nismo version, and show everybody.
Yeah.
Well,
so that was depressing to me, man. I was like, I felt, and there was, what? One of the cool things was we came across this Australian guy he's an American, but originally from Australia, and he had this super badass patrol, and he rebuilt it from the ground up, like refurb, like frame off resto on it, and it was built super rad. I posted some pictures, but it was great to talk to him, and he's actually out there in Tennessee by you. But every once in a while we'd come across some kind of Nissan, and we'd be like, "Yeah, this is awesome!" There was a newer patrol out down in the parking lot area where they show a bunch of cool trucks and stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, it's a patrol. But it's wild that I saw 2 patrols and not a single Frontier or Xterra in the whole show. 2 extremely capable, modifiable, great trucks, and the 2 vehicles that I thought, the 2 off-road vehicles that I saw were 2 patrols, which are basically like diamonds in the rough in the entire United States.
Well, speaking of diamonds in the rough, man, we've had some questions brought up to us this week, Danny.
Yeah.
Let's see. We're on the Facebook page here. I know you posted up some stuff on your personal page, but let's see. Is Mr. Cody Fletcher, he's always a character, man, is Dave going to drive out to Gone Moab 2017? And the bigger question is, Danny going to have the race truck ready for next season? I know I've spied some pictures of the race truck, and all is looking cool there. Are you ready to talk any plans about that truck yet, Danny?
I totally wish that I could say it's going to be done for the Mint 400, and I'm going to race in this and that and this and that. But you know what? Learning about costs and fabrication times and, the uncertainty of the future, I will make 0 promises on when and where it will be decidedly ready to race. Because even if I could have it fully built by the Mint 400, if we pulled it off, that leaves 0 time for testing. I mean, if we were to, Christmas season, everything slows down even over the Christmas season. We'd have maybe 3 months. And that was if I could afford the, all the extra stuff that comes with it. I got a spreadsheet of all the extra stuff, and the extra stuff is Parker pumper, radios, lights, just engine stuff, seat belts, window nets, plumbing for gas tanks. I mean, all these little things, like, they start adding up so wildly quick that it gets expensive. And so I'm hoping to afford to get the race truck racing, but by the time I get it built, I'm probably not going to afford to race it. No, that's not true. I'm hoping to race in at least one of the 3 best in the desert races next year. That's my goal.
Nice.
So
and just like you said, you can't. You almost need a year of just shakedown on that vehicle to really before you, because you don't want to go to the mint and just participate. You want to actually.
Yeah, I'm kind of tired of going and breaking, so I want to get the truck. I want to get it broken in correctly.
Is that broken in like where you're from in SoCal?
Not broken in as in like broken, as in like tested and fixed and tested and fixed and.
So you're thinking you're going to do
ready to
maybe
compete.
a 500-mile test and then go try to do a race the next week?
Yeah, no.
All right. And Cody, to answer your question, no, Dave will not be driving to Gone Moab 2017. I don't think I'm actually even going to be in Moab this year, Danny. Sad times, I'm sure. I've been there, done it, and it's nothing about Moab or anything. It's just I want to go see other Nissan things, and there's a whole car world to this that I want to see, and like the Nismo Fiesta in Texas, I think that's the next trip I kind of want to make, and I want to try to pry Danny out there with me, but who knows on that one. So now I will have representatives out there, I'm sure. Danny, I'm sure, will have to be out there for exterior performance and just the fun of it.
Yeah, I should. I may end up flying out this year. I got a family reunion I'm going to, so in Iowa. So it might be a wild year. 2017 is going to be an interesting year for sure.
And I hear they got some new leadership for Moab, man. So that sounds like
it's there's getting, a little bit of a transition going for new leadership. It sounds like the
Irish have taken over.
Transition.
The potato eaters have taken over, Donnie.
That's right, the boys. The boys have come down to get the off-road wheel into the Nissans.
Oh, we're going to get our 35s out there, and we're going to do some damage,
yeah.
But speaking of Irish, man, we're good. He won a raffle to be a guest host coming up. So
Irish did?
Irish did, buddy.
Oh, great. We're not going to get a single word in edgewise.
And I guarantee
I hope he listens to this and hears that.
And a new drinking game for that one will be how many times will he say that he's running Gone Moab this year? Because because he's been.
But you know what? We're going to come up with we're going to post it on our Facebook page before he guests us, because there's a couple other things that he likes to.
And something about princesses and all kinds of things.
Yeah, dude. We're gonna have we're gonna call it the Irish drinking game.
Irish bombs.
Bill Irish.
But let's see, Mr. James McLeave. Let's see. Do you think Nissan will bring their version of Toyota Craw to their new line of trucks in the future? And James, I would say no. And why I say that is Nissan's never really. Their Nismo stuff, like they do with the cars, is Toyota's version of TRD, man. So they don't really put a ton of effort into new tech for trucks, or that I've ever seen. So I'm going to say no. But I've seen the Navara. What's coming next year. So it'll be exciting to see what they do with the engine wise in that thing. But no, I think it's going to be the normal. Yeah. The normal.
I fully agree with that. I don't think they're interested in that as far as a feature. Nissan for the longest time has tried to be the slightly more affordable version of the Japanese truck car market, in my opinion. And I think putting that in would put them in a higher class. And I think when they do come out with the new Navara, it's going to be a slightly more affordable version than what Toyota's offering. That's my opinion.
Let's see. Leland Merrill, he wants to know if Moab Marty had a chance to go out to Death Valley with Danny.
Death Valley is a family trip with me and my two daughters. So Moab Marty and Action Shoot Group do not show up there. It's just it's really asking too much from the Grove to be shenaniganing and leading 9 trucks to Death Valley and parenting 2 daughters. So I try and only bring those out.
Marty doesn't seem like a guy that's a very good parent. Like the parenting is not
on
his.
No, I mean, at first glance, he might be a good parent of other people's children, but in truth, I think that Marty is actually trying to lure children to do things.
Yes, I would agree. I would agree with that. So
at first you're like, oh, he's trying to take his son to go to go take a bath, and then you realize it's not his son, and then you're like, wait a second, this scenario.
And Groot suit, man. Groot suit's all about the party too, man. Groot
suit popped out in Vegas. That was a good time. He went on a zip line over the streets of Vegas.
Classic Groot suit.
He's I imagine he's going to pop out at a couple Christmas parties. I've heard he's been invited to a couple Christmas parties this year. So Groot suit, the action suit Groot, he likes the party. So when a party happens, he pops out.
He is the party, really. The party happens when he commands it.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. Joseph Williams, my buddy here, and his dad works at the plant there in Smyrna. Let's see. Opinions on the new Nissan Sentra Nismo. I think we've given you that, Joseph. Jury's out.
I gave all the opinion I could give. More horsepower. Other than that, it's a great looking little car with cool stuff.
And our special guest host from past shows, Mr. Derek Gustafson. Let's see. Have you ever seen or driven a Nissan Bushmaster? And it took me a minute on this one, but Derek, I've actually have seen a Bushmaster before. I would say it's kind of like it was Nissan's answer to the 4Runner, sort of. It's a weird top on the thing. It's like they put a camper top and cut the roof off of the truck. But no, never ridden one. I don't believe I've ever ridden in a 720. So that would be that. I've ridden in plenty of the little Toyota pup trucks like that, but nothing cool like the Bushmaster.
Yeah. There was a company called Matrix 3 who was in California who was basically building them to be like the old school Toyota 4Runner.
Mm-hmm.
They'd cut off the roof and the back of it, and then weld this basically a cab that went over the top onto the front of it. It's a cool looking truck. It looks just like it's like a 4Runner but different.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I would love to check it out.
I was young when I seen one, but I have seen one before. And let's see, Danny, what on your page, man? Did you have any kind of special comments on when you asked?
Nothing that we haven't already covered already.
Nice.
I think we're golden. I think they came over to our Nissan page and got after it.
Nice. And speaking of golden, it's Christmas time, Danny. And if you would like to see Dave and Danny at one of your events, go to Amazon.com. Actually, go to NissanNationPodcast.com. Click the Amazon links. We have some hats and stuff. If you'll just click that link and just do your normal shopping, man. Just through their search button, search for whatever you're looking for. What that does is it gives me and Danny a few pennies, and those pennies add up to dollars, and those dollars add up to airplane tickets that get us places. So, in your, the season of giving, give back to the Nissan Nation podcast for all of this misinformation and funny we think we're doing.
We know that basically everybody's Christmas list resides on Amazon wish lists.
Yes.
And all we're asking is for you to go to our website, click the link, and then make your purchase.
Yes.
Please. We know that all you guys are going to be spending approximately $15 million across the board because we have 3 listeners that are rich and the rest might spend $1.
Hey, but that dollar is going to get me somewhere.
But truly, I mean, the stuff you buy on Amazon, try and remember us on Nissan Nation Podcast. It'll help the show. It'll help us get to experience some more cool stuff in the Nissan world and bring you more cool stories about it. So give us a hand, and it's not costing you anything. It's just a matter of one extra click for you.
And what if you got real shoppy and really made our day, we know we've got some listeners in Australia. And I've threatened to bring the show to Australia for the people down there. That those 10 listeners, they're solid subscribers we got down there, and we want to take the show to Australia. So
yeah, buddy, please, Australian guys, hey, post up on our Facebook page, fellas.
Yes,
we want to hear all about what you guys are doing out there. We want to chat about your patrols or your Navaras or whatever you guys are rolling out there. It's great that you guys are listening to us, and we appreciate you guys listening.
We do.
just a heads up, if you need anything cool from an aftermarket supplier that is not in Australia, we will ship from nistechlifts.com, who ships internationally. Give them a call.
Say what? Internationally, dude. Hell yeah. It's never a free plug with Nistec, sir. But seriously, we do appreciate everything. What that money does, it does help pay for like the hosting and stuff of the website and the podcast and stuff. And believe it or not, this is not free. It does cost me monies each month, and it forces Danny to look at me, which is, he needs to be paid for that. And
I'm not a cheap soul.
There's horse crops and all kinds of things we can buy with these monies, So, so we encourage you, please, over the anytime, but over the holiday season with your big purchases, go to our website. Once again, that's NissanNationPodcast.com. Click the Amazon banner and shop till you drop. We next time, Danny, we got our Christmas show, buddy. Last year we got into a few things that we would recommend. Some things that maybe Exterior Performance would sell on Nistec, even Rugged Rocks. Hell, I don't know. Maybe we can. We'll just cross promote everywhere.
Come up with some Christmas gift ideas.
That's right, dude. And things that you might want for your vehicle, or know somebody that wants, and we'll just talk about it. So, for our Australian listeners, our couple UK listeners, literally we have listeners everywhere around the world, and it surprises me. Click our Facebook page. Let us know what you're interested in for maybe a Christmas gift that you're looking to, maybe purchase for yourself or want to know about. And give us a shout. And that's Nissan Nation Podcast at Facebook. And Danny, with that, dude, I don't have much more to say, man.
Last thing, Nistec Lifts, Nistec Lifts, 10% off across the website. Use promo code BLKFRI. BLKFRI. You get 10% off at Nistec Lifts. That's good till November 29th. And you'll probably be hitting this show right around Thanksgiving time. And we want to wish you guys a very happy Thanksgiving here from the Nissan Nation podcast. I hope that the turkey leg goes right down your gullet without any choking. And that you stuff your face full of amazing treats and enjoy some football and take a nap.
That's right, man.
And
go
don't
Bengals.
hate your family, because your family is your people.
Yeah, don't argue with your family. And go Bengals, man.
Be good peoples.
Yeah, and support your local NFL team. On those holidays.
Support your local Bengals.
That's right, dude. We're Bengals fans, both
Bengal Nation.
East Coast, West Coast, bro. So with that, man, I want to say thank you to everybody that helps us put on this show. Miss Cara Bear. Hopefully we'll have a new podcast with her coming up. Maybe JR will give us a few new sounds to listen to. Kelly for doing the intro and all she does actually keeps me sane. Danny over there on the West Coast, I know his missus keeps him sane or whatever stability he has.
She keeps me happy and sane.
That's right, dude. And so for everybody here, we want to say thank you guys for listening. New Year's coming around, man. New Year and big things. So for everybody here, this is the Nissan Nation, Danny. And what are we?
Out!
Peace, everybody. Love y'all.